When you're stupid, it's serious. A demonstration of the Rhdp sheep's ignorance. In a move as ridiculous as it is pathetic, the Rhdp sheep have once again demonstrated their crass ignorance and deliberate misinformation. By attempting to claim that Guillaume Soro enrolled centenarians on the electoral list, they reveal above all that they neither understand the meaning of an administrative circular, nor the basic principles of national identification. Let's calmly and methodically revisit the facts. Circular number 001 PPA-CI, dated October 21, 2008, signed by then Prime Minister Guillaume Soro, was issued to regulate the identification of the population and the electoral census. In truth, this circular was not only intended for the creation of the electoral register, but also for the issuance of national identity cards. Nowhere does it suggest enrolling people born in 1850. What it states very clearly is that for applicants who do not know their parents' birthplaces or birth dates, the place must be recorded as unknown and the date as January 1, 1850. In other words, this applies to the parents of the applicants, not to the applicants themselves. In 2008, it was perfectly reasonable that people aged 40, 50, or 60 might not know their parents' exact birth dates, especially in a country where civil registration had long been neglected, particularly in rural areas. So no, Rhdp sheep. No one enrolled someone born in 1850. What this circular established was a smart and rigorous mechanism for recording missing information in digital forms. The date January 1, 1850 was not used as an actual age, it was a default value, a technical placeholder used in databases to identify cases where parentage was unknown. It's a data standard, not an electoral fraud. The irony? This system actually helped prevent fraud. Thanks to this system, all unknown, January 1, 1850 entries could be easily filtered and verified. Guillaume Soro was not trying to conceal anything, he was building safeguards against fraud. But that, the Rhdp sheep simply cannot grasp, it requires a minimum of logic and understanding of administrative tools. Guillaume Soro delivered remarkable work. Rather than being attacked by mindless party mouthpieces, he should be acknowledged for having given Côte d'Ivoire a strict, well-structured, and intelligent enrollment system. That electoral register, despite all political tensions, served as the foundation for major national elections, including those overseen by Alassane Ouattara himself. What the Rhdp sheep either ignore, or pretend to ignore, is that this circular was debated, scrutinized, and adopted by a consensus government during the post-crisis transition period. It was not something Soro imposed alone, it was unanimously approved by both the opposition and the ruling coalition, after rigorous examination. Even more, the circular incorporated amendments from the Independent Electoral Commission, then chaired by Bugri Mambi, now Prime Minister, and from the Ministry of the Interior, led at the time by the late Desiré Tagro. And to crown it all, the Council of Ministers that adopted the text included the late Amadou Gon Coulibaly, a former Prime Minister whom the current regime still praises. Unless the Rhdp sheep, who have yet to demonstrate any notable academic brilliance, believe themselves more competent than Bugri Mambi, Desiré Tagro, Amadou Gon Coulibaly, and an entire team of experts and technocrats, they do well to stay quiet and learn. Once again, their ignorance is a direct insult to the diligent work done by capable individuals in the service of the nation. But here lies the deeper issue. The tyrant Ouattara and his supporters have never taken responsibility for their failures. Instead of fixing the system, they endlessly blame others, rehash the past, and deflect from the present. It has been more than 13 years since Guillaume Soro served as Prime Minister, yet they still act as if he were running the country. This is not only absurd, it's a clear sign of their chronic incompetence. They are incapable of building a credible electoral framework, yet very skilled at slandering those who, in far more difficult conditions, laid the foundations for national reconstruction. And since they think they're cultured, let's respond with a touch more elegance.
Stultorum infinitus est numerus.
The number of fools is infinite. Let that sink in. The truth is, the system implemented in 2008 was not only well thought out, but also necessary. Categorizing people with unknown, January 1, 1850 allowed authorities to identify citizens who genuinely did not know their parents' origins in terms of place and date of birth of parents, which is no fault of their own. Many of them came from poor, uneducated, and marginalized communities, abandoned by a state that had failed to register its people. Instead of mocking them or turning them into political targets, we should reflect on how such a system gave these forgotten citizens a place in the Republic. But that's something the Rhdp sheep will never understand. Because when you're stupid, it's serious.
Family, hello. There's something I don't like. I have to say it, otherwise I'll fall. Call me the Ouattara government. What is it even? Between us, don't you see that there's too much criticism about you? Don't you see that there are too many complaints? There are too many complaints. Let me explain. We're here in Congo. People enlist in Brazzaville, which is the political capital, a bit like Yamoussoukro in Côte d'Ivoire. And in Pointe Noire, which is the equivalent of Abidjan, the economic capital, people don't enlist. And as if that's not enough, they finish enlisting among themselves there in Brazzaville, and they take their posters to come and put them up in Pointe Noire. That is to say, these posters leave Yamoussoukro, which is Brazzaville, to come to Abidjan, which is Pointe Noire. The people of Pointe Noire, who did not enlist, are the ones who must go and look at the names of those who did enlist. Why? Why do you want to frustrate us? You chose who should enlist, those you trust and who can vote for your President Ouattara. These are the ones you enlisted. Otherwise, before Ouattara came to power, we did not sort people. We did not select those who should vote. We were not enlisted in Pointe Noire here. We were told that if we wanted to enlist, we would have to go to Brazzaville. That means you have to pay for your plane ticket, your hotel, your food, and you will have to wait for to enlist you. When we were in Côte d'Ivoire, did we go from Debout to Yamoussoukro to enlist? When we were in Côte d'Ivoire, did we leave Debout to enlist in Yamoussoukro? Or did enlistment come to us in Debout, even in our villages? Why are you so mean? In any case, let's hope that your election that you are conducting, and the enlistment that you have carried out, where there are living dead on the list, succeed. Win. Win. Win, because we are resentful. We have a lot on our hearts. It's even overflowing. It's overflowing. Every election, I enlist, I vote. Today, I will not be able to vote in 2025, simply because a government has selected the actors, the people who will vote for it. Ouattara, when you became president, when we were going to vote for you so that you could take power for the very first time, your first term, those who voted for you, you controlled the list well, you read it well, and today, it is you who knows how to sort the citizens who will vote for you and those who will not. Under your power, there are people who must enroll and others not, like in Pointe Noire. Here, we did not enroll. These Brazzaville who enroll, and they took this list to come here. When things get heated, Ouattara, you will assume. Germain Ouattara, you will assume. I said for me, make sure that Pointe Noire can enroll. We are all in Congo here and we want to enroll. Why is it that only Brazzaville has the right to do it? And Pointe Noire? When you come to do your business, isn't it to Pointe Noire that you come? Isn't this the economic capital? Why is it in the political capital that people enlist, and here, we didn't enlist? And you send the list of those who are enlisted, the billionaires who went to enlist, those who can pay the ticket to go and enlist. Don't mess with us. This morning, I heard that the same thing happened in France. In Congo, in Pointe Noire too, that's what's happening. Enlistment has become fraud, but since we know each other, you know that Ivorians never fall flat on their faces. You started. We'll finish it for you.
Chris Yapi does not lie. Find Chris Yapi on his 2 YouTube channels, his Rumble channel, his TikTok, X, Instagram, VK and Threads accounts.